pellets resume the beating of a lifetime. Yeah. No way do you have to be of any use right now. We can do this. It's down to half strength already. Cannot just doink. Velgard can easily beat this guy. Try to get you in here. That's not. There's a chance of deflection. Stab him. Finish him off, Gunnulf. Victory. The foes lie dead at your feet, and regret ever crossing paths with you. There they are. Godspeed damned. I've gotta go wash off this blood. Eric is looking out the hall's window onto the bay. A fleet of longships approach with sails of bold red. A fleet of longships approach with sails of bold reds and blue. One banner I know well, Vognir. Next for Val Kingship, last we spoke. The other flag looks important. Yeah, important guests. See what I deal with all day long. Things make a little more sense. You hoped I'd have a stake in saying everything's fine here when the royal guests arrived. Not me, the governor. Now I have to make sure there are no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the Great Hall before they come by. Can I ask one favor? What is it? If you happen to stall our guest down at the docks, I wouldn't object. Maybe I will. Eric and Velgard hustle from the mead house. To his credit, Eric tosses the barkeep a spar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug and go to greet the new arrivals down at the docks. Vognir. A familiar Val steps onto the docks. In your mind, you recall a much younger version tramping the halls of Grofheim, abundant in purpose. Gods, Jöbir, you look ancient. Comes with being old, and if there's Vognir, there must be Hakon. Moster. Still bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid old yokes. At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Jorundur demands it. Jorundr. How do you pronounce? Jorundr. Jorundr demands it. I'll take that. I'll take that over lingering to death in Grofheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returned from Arberang, in fact. And glad for it. Hakon motions to the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering, golden wolf head emblazoned on red. The king of men, or someone on his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son Ludin. Don't you know, Scrivener? We visit his capital, he visits ours. It's how you make allies these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. Then you're going to Grofheim. I have a distinct feeling I've finished my business in Strand and was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away, but let's just be done. Fight me tomorrow at the gates. What is trying to say? Wrong voice. What is trying to say is the prince's delight to behold. Where's Mogr, Hakon? Have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few, but others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Mogr. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young prince of the young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world. The sort of boy who grew up pulling the leg off spiders. The long road back to Grofheim should be more interesting than most years, you think. Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Vognir's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. That is Hakon, and that's the prince. Let's start with the prince. Is this the right place? You find the prince at an inn. Guards blanket the building, including a sharp-eyed varl who must be working for Ludin. A woman in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greeting, Prince Ludin. How does he sound? Yes. Yes. You're with Vognir. I don't remember you. Not exactly. I've known Vognir a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grofheim with my guards. Ludin looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Why? I work for the king, carrying tithes to the capital. We crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. What do you want? I have a habit of recording history. I thought we might talk about your visit. A Val historian? Haha, don't you already know? Your king and mine both have been practically trumpeting it through the cities. I've been on the road for a while, I'm afraid. Ludin takes a deep sigh. Whether tired or ungracious, you are uncertain. Maybe both. A formality, mostly. Vognir came to our capital in Aberang, and now we're going to the Val's capital in Grofheim to cement this grand alliance for the next stage of Men and Varl. You sound unconvinced. There's no need for it, and it's and it's damn cold up here. You get the sense he's struggling not to complain outright. You take the opportunity to excuse yourself.